Grad school is about messing with your head for a few months and then sort of helping you put it back together in a new way. Sometimes I tell my students, who's ready? So how many of you are prepared to go off and, open up a factory or a distribution system in sub-Saharan Africa, or to start trading and buying and selling provincial government debt out of Brazil or Argentina or Mexico? And are you ready also to figure out what consumer choices and sales channels are in places like Indonesia? And they usually say no. And I say, well, I don't know what you're going to do for the rest of your life. Because 2/3 of the world, in terms of the population and the natural resources and the markets, are taking place in emerging markets or developing countries. That's the future.
The first example that I start off with is a story of a company that goes to a community and they see all these problems. No schools, no health facilities, the only bridge to the next community is broken. And I draw it all on the board and I ask them, what do you think we should do? And everybody's like, well, maybe. Some say we should fix the school because the children need to go to school. Okay. We should fix the hospital. Okay, we should do this, And then others are like, maybe we should start little businesses for them. And I simply tell them exactly what happened was they asked the community, and the community wanted a marching band, because the marching band was really important to keep the young people in town on the weekends. Otherwise, they would flee over to the next town, which had a marching band and a nightlife of sorts, and they were really worried that the community was diminishing. So by asking them and giving them that marching band, they started building that relationship with the community, whereby later on they could start doing these other big things, the schools, the hospitals, but it was all in collaboration with the community.
So we did this simulation in class. It was a card game, and we each had to sit at a certain table, and we just got a paper with instructions. Not really much to go off of, and in our minds, we all think we're playing the same card game. Then, after a certain amount of time, we had to go to a new table. And all of a sudden you realize the rules are different, but no one can speak to each other. So now you're trying to learn the rules, and for me, I was instantly frustrated. I was like, why am I sitting at this table? I don't belong here. I don't know these rules. I wanted to go back to the table I started at. But at the end, we all went back to our seats, and our professor started discussing with us kind of what the meaning behind the card game was. And a lot of it had to do with these cultural differences and language barriers. So, if you go to a new place and you don't speak the language and you don't understand their customs, their culture, their language, their rules, you're immediately frustrated. And that was something that I never really put into perspective. And I think that that's something that the MIB program has really instilled in us.